This is one of the most famous games of Paul Morphy, The Pride and Sorrow of Chess. It is so famous that it's got mating pattern name after it. It is made when bishop and rook combine attack to opponent king, which is usually blocked with some pieces. We will see one example of the opera mate. For example, this is opera mate. The rook and the bishop combine a deadly attack on the opponent king, and this king is blocked with these pieces, and it is checkmate. Little spoiler alert, remember this pattern when I asked you to stop and pause the video to find the winning move for Paul Morphy. This game is played in 1858 at the Opera House in Paris between Paul Morphy, the strongest player of the generation, and the two nobles, Duke Karl and Count Isouard. They jointly deciding each move for the black pieces when Morphy was white. The game was played at the box while opera was performing at the stage. Let's see the game. Game starts with e4, e5, knight f3, d6. It is the Philidor defense, named after the leading chess master of the second half of the 18th century. The funny thing is that he was also the opera composer. It is slightly passive opening because it is ignored this important d4 square, so most popular opening days are knight to c6 or knight to f6. Paul Morphy strikes in the center with d4, and we have bishop to b4, and this is a slightly passive move, and Bobby Fischer in his analysis said that it is an inferior move. Today it's most popular to play ed4 or knight to f6. Morphy played de5, and then we have bishop to f3. It is not usually good to give up your bishop for the knight that early, but alternative would be this line, which just favorite the white, and white will threat the fork, and this bishop would be attacked, and white would have a pawn up. So this is better alternative, just to give up the bishop, and we have queen to f3. We have de5, and we have bishop to c4, just developing move. Here nobles played the natural looking knight to f6, but this runs into the refutation. There is one move which can attack the f7 and b7 pawn at the same time, and that is queen to b3. Paul Morphy attacked the f7 b7 pawn, and he actually threat checkmate in two moves. He can give check to the f7, king would go to the d7, and he would give checkmate with the queen on e6. So there is no way to defend both of the pawns, and nobles played queen to e7 just to defend the e7 pawn, and the b7 pawn is free for grabs, but the Paul Morphy played knight to c3 because he want more development than the material. And also, if he plays queen to b7, he would just exchange the queens, and that would just slow down his attack, and that is not what Paul Morphy wanted. So he played knight to c3 instead. It is already tough to play for the black, because this b7 pawn is hanging, this bishop is stuck, and the castling is not soon to be happened. So nobles played the c6 move just to defend this b7 pawn, and we have pin with the bishop to g5, and we have one mistake for the nobles, which is b5, because we have knight to b5, we have cb5, bishop to b5 check. Here nobles could try to escape with the king to d8, but that probably would run into the long castle, and king must go to the king walk, and rook to d3 would be crushing in next couple of moves. Instead, black played knight to d7 block, and here Morphy just long castle. He made threat with his move. He applied pressure with this pin knight, and he put his king to the safety. He basically, you can learn from this game, because all of his moves was or creating threats, or just developing moves and creating threats like pin like this. So he also was not materialistic, so he showed how developing and piece activities is important. So we have in this position a rook to d8, and here Paul Morphy made another move which shows his basic understanding of the tactics, and he plays rook to d7. Now Paul Morphy brings his last piece into the games. He played rook to d1. He applied pressure to the d7 rook, and nobles try to bail out with the exchange of the queens. That is reasonable thing to do. They could also try to exchange queens like this, but that would probably run into something like this, and we will see checkmate on the board. But instead they played queen to e6, and Paul Morphy played bishop to d7, just check, and the forcing move is knight to d7. And now if you remember from the beginning, I told you try to remember this opera mating pattern. So Paul Morphy had mate in 2 and try to find out how the game was ended. This whole game Paul Morphy played while opera was behind him, and he almost played like he was blindfolded. So he finished the game with queen to b8, and black is forced to take this queen because his king has no squares to go, and we have knight to b8, and then we have checkmate with rook to d8. And black is queen and knight up, but white have only rook and bishop, but that is all it takes. And that is one instructive game, because we'll see piece activities, how it is important, and black rook and black bishop didn't enter the game the whole time. Paul Morphy have a famous quote: "The ability to play chess is a sign of the gentleman, and the ability to play chess well is a sign of the wasted life." So that was the famous game of him, and that is how he beat these two gentlemen. Let me know in the comment section, did you enjoy this game, and see you next video. Bye.